All right, welcome everybody. Today is D&D day, and we are going to be getting started here very shortly. Hello.
Hello.
The ability to speak is nice.
You can all hear me just fine.
Yep.
Yes,
Do I sound like I'm echoey?
a little bit. You sounded like you're kind of in a tunnel. But that
Well-
could just simply be my quality. I do not know.
I think it's the mic I'm using.
It's not really super noticeable. Like it's there by hint, but
It's not
for
distracting.
yeah, for me, you don't sound like you're in a tunnel. It's just sounds like mic quality. That's all.
If you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have given it a second thought.
It sounds like you're in a room that doesn't have super special expensive padding in the room.
Which isn't incorrect.
Like that's one of those like unless you drop like $1,000. That though.
Well, yeah, I don't think you need necessarily $1,000. You could get a bunch of corkboard. Corkboard's pretty cheap. And it's sound absorbing.
Mm.
Sound absorbing things is my curtains. They do a decent job. That and I don't speak aloud.
Well, unfortunately, I can't curtain my entire living room.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, visually everything looks good for you guys?
Let's see. Full screen that. Does anyone know of a way that I take the other portraits and move them to the top of my screen instead?
I have no idea.
Okay.
If there's a will, there's a way. But I don't know that will. And I don't know that way.
I need more arrangement options for Discord.
I think we all do. Because, yeah, the only option I have is to just hide the members.
That's right, everybody. Hide your members.
Oh, hide my numbers. Okay, sure. I still have to get all your numbers situated up.
All my numbers.
Yeah, all your numbers. Haven't gotten around to doing that for the stream yet.
I also
Oh.
have not gotten around to drawing, so I mean I have, but not that.
Oh no, I feel so left out. No, I didn't.
Oh, that's right. I should probably pull up Alarin, huh? Since I'm gonna be playing him today.
Play?
Oh my god, where the hell? Oh, there he is. Alright. Okay. Well, let's begin. Last time, you all spent some time after your combat with the vampire spawn. You buried the body, while other people had different interactions. Vera and Bruno, and then Alrin and Zella, who Zella seemed to open up slightly during said interaction. Darts, Ismark, and Enra spent their time burying a corpse that was undead with a stake through its heart. After said activity, you moved along down the road towards the village of Valaki, the town of Valaki, where you had an interesting interaction with the guards, who seemed to know Bruno pretty well, and then proceeded to make your way towards the Blue Water Inn, where you had some interesting interactions and met a couple of interesting people. Also found out of some a little bit of background information on the town and the surrounding area. During your rest at the inn, Alrin had a meeting with a man known as Rictavio, secretly away from the rest of the party, where he found out some important information, and then he returned to the inn. During your small time there, Zella got Vera intoxicated, and then who then proceeded to pass out, fully dressed in their bed for the night. Ismark had paid for your rooms. And where we're gonna pick up is at the beginning of your long rest. So, let's see, it was Ismark and Enra in a room, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Vera and Darts.
Yes.
Bruno had his own room. Alarin had his own room, and Zella had her own room with her servants, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna take my rest later in the night.
Okay. So you're spending some time...
Working on my project.
Okay. I'm trying to think what kind of, I guess, oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of what kind of check that would be.
Right now I'm working on the stock portion of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you just give me a general dexterity check?
Okay. With my proficiency or no?
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be a 26.
Okay. Yeah, you make a very serviceable stock for whatever it is you're trying to create.
Cool.
You've probably had some time to like make plans and kind of design it out, and you're able to carve the stock that you're looking for. Anybody else want to do anything before we continue on with the long rest?
Nope. Vera is passed out.
Yeah.
So Darts would like to try and attempt to loosen the chainmail that they have passed out in.
You're going to undress me?
Loosen the chainmail.
Oh,
You're
no.
wearing stuff
sleeping.
under the chainmail.
Yes, there is.
While
That's-
she's sleeping.
While I'm sleeping, passed out drunk.
Well, here's the thing. Darts would know it's unhealthy, and you're pretty dumb.
Why don't you give me a disadvantaged strength check?
Strength?
Yep.
Okay. That will be a 15.
Vera is a much more aggressive sleeper than you had realized, especially when passed out drunk. And she functionally tosses and turns while you're attempting this task, and she's a lot heavier than you imagined as well. She moves suddenly and quickly several times during your attempt to loosen it. You get one buckle undone, but the rest is like it would take you probably most of the night to get this armor off of her.
Why do you have to be so difficult when you sleep? Darts will just give up and, like, just throw his sheet over him.
Okay. Bruno, Zella.
Bruno's asleep, my guy. He's on the bed, very comfortable right at the moment.
Zella is also sleeping.
Okay. Yeah,
Cozied up.
I assume most of this is going on during the time where Alarin is out on his little side quest. Hold on. I gotta go close the door real quick. Alright. Sorry, I could hear Anna talking in the bedroom with volume up all the way on my headphones. So, anyway. During the night, Alarin and Darts, you hear a commotion downstairs. And like this is only because your passive perception is so high that you're able to hear this.
You love having a natural perception of 20.
Yeah. But there's a commotion. It's early in the morning. It's probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You're awakened as you hear shouting downstairs in the tap room. You hear the voice of the proprietor, the woman who you had been talking to for the portion of the evening when you were, in the tap room. Then you hear a deep, like cold, like emotionless male voice speak to her and say, "Where are the travelers? There's a price on their head." And she responds, "I ain't got no travelers. They left." And then you hear the barking of what sounds like a small pack of dogs. Like the growls and barks of like a small pack of dogs, maybe like 3 or 4, that seem to have accompanied this man into the tap room.
Let me look at something. Okay. Yeah, I'll try this.
Okay.
So, Darts is gonna peer out of the room.
All right.
Doesn't specify the creature you can see within range. That okay, so it just has to hear me. But I have to see the creature.
Okay.
So, can I stealthily try and get out the move out to the area where I could see him?
Yeah, if you were to leave the room, the basically the whole like second floor opens into you can see down into the tap room. So, if you were to get out into the hall, like it's kind of like it's more like a patio style like wrap around or you could see. So,
Okay, yeah, could I try and stealth though?
yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Please don't suck. 19 plus 5, 24.
They seem unaware of your presence as you move out of the door and onto this walkway.
I'm going to cast Suggestion,
Okay.
and the words I'm going to use is leave in peace and don't come back. The DC is 16. Wisdom.
All right, you see when you step out, you see this large man dressed in like furs and carrying a heavy axe, and with him, and he's standing in front of the tavern owner, and with him, you see these two massive dogs. But each dog is bearing two heads. And he's having this conversation with the tavern keeper. Then all of a sudden, like he just stops mid conversation, and he goes, "Well, never mind then. I'll be going." And he picks up the leashes of his two dogs, and he begins to step out, like walk his way out the front door. Yeah. And the dogs seem to like react to something. And they kind of one of the four heads looks right at you, but the man just kind of pulls on the leash and the dogs follow behind him out the door.
So I'm just gonna be like, hey, down to the tavern keeper.
She looks
Can
up
you
at
please keep it down? I'm trying to sleep.
she looks at you with this what the fuck is your problem and why the fuck are these people coming into my bar look. It's like 3 a.m. and she got woke out of sleep as well, so she's just like, she just gives you this stupefied look as like, how the fuck is this her fault?
I mean, she was being loud. I'm gonna go back to my room.
She also adjourns back to her room. Alright. Well, with that, we are going to finish a long rest. How long does suggestion last?
8 hours.
Okay. Okay. Then we're going to finish the long rest. So you guys can all take advantage of the long rest.
Woohoo! I get my max HP back.
Yeah.
Ooh, I get my blood packed stuff. My blood maledict.
And then we're going to, as you all awaken in the morning and come down to the main floor, Vera, you suffer a point of exhaustion, and I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Does anybody know how I can do that on D&D Beyond the point of exhaustion?
It's in your conditions. Next to defenses, it should be in conditions, and you can press 1 on the exhaustion level all the way down.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I see it. Beautiful, thanks. It's gonna be a 22 for my constitution.
Okay. Well, you don't suffer a second point. All right. The first point was obviously for sleeping in your armor.
Yeah.
The second point was going to be for the hangover, which you avoided. But all right. Okay. So everybody comes down at their own pace for what seems to be the proprietor is preparing some like a pretty simple like stew and bread breakfast. You know, nothing too fancy. But yeah. Later than all of you, Alarin comes down, sits at the table with the group, and he looks around to everyone and in a hushed tone, he says, "Hey, I found out some information about werewolf bites. We should probably expedite our arrival to Kresik. Like the sooner the better."
So what did you find
Well,
out about them?
Don't keep us in suspense.
Well, as it turns out, werewolf bites can be contagious. They can cause the bitee to be afflicted with the curse.
Well, does it count if I bit
Wait, come
them?
again?
I don't think it works that way.
Enra just looks at Ismark, like
Ismark looks very weary. Like he's almost like not paying attention to what's going on. He seems very distracted, and he seems like he hasn't gotten a good night's rest in a long while.
Vera kind of puts her hand on her shoulder where she got bit and kind of like looks like she's taking this information in.
How do you fix it? Because I don't need werewolves around me.
right.
Oh.
So
My source, who wishes to remain nameless, informed me that a powerful cleric or holy person could remove the affliction, but it'll probably cost us some some money, and it may also the sooner we get there, the better. Let's just put it that way. We have some days, but the sooner we get our ducks in a row and move on, the better it will be. Also, there might be like if we make good time, we can make a little sidetrack because there's somebody that we might be looking for somewhere near Kresik. So, but yeah, I think our priority is getting rid of the werewolf thing.
Alright, it sounds pretty sketch, but if it's on the way, I mean, the alternative is worse than investigating this.
Well, I figured we were going to Kresik anyway, but this information is good to have.
How did you come upon this source of yours?
I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's good information though.
Do you have any experience telling women not to worry about things?
Vera's gonna make an insight check.
Okay.
And Enra is laughing at that.
I mean, I don't think
you see-
Darth would make an insight check, but passively.
As when Zella says that to Alarin, you kind of see his normally pale, like almost white skin kind of flushes slightly, but he doesn't actually say anything in retort to her commentary.
Vera has a non-natural 20.
It checked.
12 passive.
It seems he's not lying to you, and he seems to trust the information that he got.
Alright. Vera is not worried at all. Like, Zella's saying this thing about telling girls not to worry, and Vera's just like, whatever, it's fine, I trust you.
Zella doesn't not trust him. She just also doesn't trust his source.
Sources be sketchy.
Especially when you have this information out of nowhere.
So Darts is going to pull Vera to the side
Okay.
when they get the chance.
Okay.
Enra looks at Zella, and is just, I mean, the alternative is just significantly worse than investigating this. I'd like to not have, my throat gnawed out in the middle of the night.
I don't disagree with that. I just want to know.
We're just going
How?
cautiously.
Yeah. Well, could this be some sort of play or not? But you're right. Let's fix these weirdos.
Wow, thanks.
You're welcome.
Ismark finishes his meal and stands up, and he goes, "Is there anything we need to do today to prepare for our journey?"
I do need to stop by, what was it, the scrapyard, trade yard, whatever.
The stockyard.
Yeah, the stockyard to collect a few supplies on the way out.
Okay, well that is we
Shouldn't take long.
we must if what the Outerin says is true, then we must hurry. So let us finish our meals and move on as quickly as we can.
So, as Darts tries to pull Vera aside. They're just gonna be in a hushed tone, like, something weird happened last night.
What happened last night?
Well, there was this person who started to cause a ruckus, I don't know, 2, 3 before sunrise. Uh, they had these two very large dogs. Each of the dogs had two heads. Very confusing. I used my natural magic uh, to get them to leave, but I feel like we probably shouldn't stay here for long.
I agree. I don't think we're going to be staying very long. I think the plan is we're going to head out
And I
either
think we need
today
to
or
cover our trail.
that. That would make sense. Make sure we don't get tracked. Do you know, could this be something of Strahd's doing?
He said something about a bounty on our head. We're worth money or something. I'm not exactly sure. It could be Strahd, but I'm not sure that Valaki would put up something like that. So, really could be any source.
Right. Well, let's keep an eye out. Do you think we should tell the others?
I'm going to tell them when the time's right. At least the full truth. I think for now I should say someone visited the inn last night, looking for us. You should probably cover our trail, but I'm not gonna go much further than that.
Alright.
So after we're done with this little conversation, I relayed the information to the group that there was a person who came looking for us and did not seem too happy. And we should cover our tracks and be careful.
Right here. I'll scratch right here.
Okay. You're fine.
It hurts.
What do you want me to do about it? Just go play. You're not gonna die. Are you bleeding? Okay then. Okay. Alright. Well, with all that information, I guess, are you heading as a group to the stockyard, or is it just Enra going by themselves?
I mean,
I
I'm just
figure
gonna
we
be
stop
following
there on the way out
Vera.
of town because it's on the way to the gates, right?
It's the opposite way of the way you need to go.
Oh,
I still think we should
On
go
the way
together.
in.
yeah. Let's not solo things.
Okay. So, packing up all of your supplies and preparing, you move as a party to the stockyard, where the carriage that you'd seen the day before, when you entered, the what was it called? Rictavio's.
The clown one.
Hold on.
Vera still has that idea of clowns in her head.
Yeah, the Rictavio's carnival wagon. Yeah, you see that is now absent from where it was previously parked.
seemingly he may have moved on or he's just gone. Within the stockyard, you find plenty of like supply, like wood and other like raw smithing metal. But you don't seem to see anyone that would be a salesperson or anything else. It seems like this is almost like a communal area where people just come and get what they need.
All right, I'll get what I need then.
Give me an investigation check.
Okay, let's see. Investigation. That'll be a 27.
All right.
Okay then.
It takes you a little bit of time because you don't know where you're going or where you should be looking, but you do after about half an hour you find it seems to be where they keep like scrap metal, but you do find some stuff that you could potentially use for the project you're looking to create. I would say you find probably about 10 pounds of it's forged iron, so it's already been worked, but with the right heat source and everything, you could probably rework it.
I can magic tools.
Yeah. All right. So, I don't know how you want to add that to your inventory, but you do have 10 pounds of like basically scrap iron.
Okay, add custom item.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to do in town?
Not really.
Everybody have the supplies they need?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, well, Ismark was, well, if you have everything you need, we should probably be moving as quickly as possible. We have roughly, let me look here. We have about 4 days of travel, with no divergence, to Krezik. So we must. The sooner we get on the road, the better.
Okay.
All right. So the party gathers, and you guys leave the town of Valaki behind. All right. You guys are on the road. Give me. Why doesn't everyone give me perception checks while you guys travel down the road?
So excited, and then I realized I have to do it at disadvantage.
24.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
17.
26.
Okay. Darts. I think Aaron doesn't realize they're muted.
What now?
What's your perception check?
Perception check? That will be a 17.
Okay.
Not good.
You guys travel for about 2 hours. And then sorry. There's a lot of flipping around I have to do. Da-da-da. While you guys are traveling down the road after about 2 hours, you come to a what looks like you're coming to a bridge, and just before the bridge you see a odd, like, just within the tree line you see this odd, like, it seems almost like a enshrinement, or like just a place where people have put like flowers and small wreaths and everything. You come to realize it's a shallow grave that has been dug and someone is buried, and people seem to, as they pass by, leave an offering to the spirit. Then you come to the bridge. It's a pretty simple bridge. It's a horse bridge. You know, it's wide enough for 2 carts to pass by. Stone. And on it stands a man. And this man, who is rather large, and with him you see 2 large dogs, each bearing 2 heads. And he seems to be standing, blocking the way across the bridge.
You just see darts, like, I guess, hide behind Vera. And it's just like, that's the dude.
Before Vera can do or say anything, she's gonna put her arm up. Cause, yep, arm up, like basically stopping her from moving anywhere.
Like, putting her arm out?
Yeah. Like, you know the, like, parent reflex in a car?
Yeah.
Hard
Yeah.
brake?
Mm-hmm.
That.
Okay then.
Because Vera has a history with running towards people.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
Did he notice us?
Oh yeah, he sees you very clearly.
Okay.
Alright.
He seems to have been waiting for you.
Well, hello there, friendly stranger. What you doing out here in these fine woods, eh?
I'm looking for you.
For me?
Huh?
Oh, you gotta just
Well,
ask.
that's so sweet, but I'm actually not on the market right now.
Zella kind of questioning look and like is like, why are you looking for us?
I've been offered a lot of money to take you in. And I don't have to
To
take you
where?
alive.
Can I ask where you're taking us? Where you're planning on taking us?
That's really none of your concern.
Well, if I'm going there, it kind of is my concern, isn't it?
Like I said, you don't need to be breathing.
You know, if you just asked nicely, maybe we would have considered it.
You know, I don't think you can carry all of us at once.
No, I don't think so. There are
Maybe
9 of
maybe his
us.
dog might eat us though.
Yeah, but then he won't get the full
The full bounty.
amount. Yeah.
What if they just like carry our boots?
I mean, you can get boots anywhere.
That's true.
Is he
How are you gonna have
irritated yet?
someone prove that you killed us, huh?
you see him just he looks taken aback by this conversation that's going on, and
I mean, I've seen bounty hunters larger than him. Put several in prison.
While he's taken aback, Veer is going to cast Branding Smite on her Warhammer.
Okay, I was gonna do something similar. Basically, they're gonna cast Suggestion, their eyes glow red, and they're going to be like, now, scurry along, I don't want to deal with you today. Please leave.
he looks you directly in the eyes, starts, and he goes, I've heard that voice before, and I won't fall for that again.
Okay, so Zella's gonna do something.
Okay.
She's gonna say, you know, it would be really kind of you if you just let us go. And cast Suggestion.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I know. But he heard your voice.
He just shakes his head and goes, all of you need to stay out of my mind.
Hey,
not like
you
you
need
have-
to stay out of our business.
It's not like you
No.
have a big enough mind to even search
Oof.
through. I mean, it's pretty
Oof.
barren in there.
Is that an intimidation check?
I will assist with this
Me
intimidation check
too.
as my armor starts to crackle with electricity.
My snake hisses.
Yeah.
Glowing
Dark
with radiant
glares.
energy.
Darts just glares.
Okay.
It's funny because I'm holding this big Warhammer and it's like radiating energy and I'm just smiling. Like,
Honestly,
bright smile.
Vera's a psychopath. We already get it.
All right, give me an intimidation check at advantage. Darts.
Oh, me? Oh, at advantage?
Yep.
Okay, well, the first one was a 19. Second one is a 18, so 19.
He seems visibly shaken. Like he wasn't quite prepared for just the sheer
Insultery?
the audacity of this group of what he thought were just measly
Ra-
adventurers that
And
had
just to
wandered
top
into a
it all
territory they
off
were
and-
supposed to be.
Just to top it all off, what if we just give whoever, hired you your head instead?
Hey, I bet we could get a bounty on him.
Yeah,
I bet
exactly. I
we
was
make it pretty
thinking the same
friendly.
thing.
Buy
we all
us some
just start
like
talking
nice
at the same time.
clothes.
We're all having this conversation in front of him while he's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
We're trying to confuse him, okay? Channel your inner Vera.
The mention of turning him in for a bounty, he looks to the party and he goes, "You could try, but I'm pretty sure the person who has the bounty on you would love you to show up at his doorstep."
So, what Darth
Yes.
does is just like,
Just
shut
one
up!
stone.
And, he reaches his hand out and shoots his crossbow.
Okay.
He's like, shut up! Fires a crossbow shot.
Wow.
Well, we tried to solve this diplomatically, and it was about to work, but now Darts is attacking. Okay, make your attack roll.
I mean, he's kind of mean to me, so I don't like him. Does a 17 hit?
It does not.
Does not hit. Okay.
Okay, Zella's
Never
got
mind the Scottish middle triangle.
invisibility on herself.
Yeah, did you have anything you wanted to say, Bruno?
I was going to, but there's no point now. We're attacking him.
Alright.
Alright. Let's see. Before things get too crazy started. I'd like to shatter.
Okay. You're gonna cast Shatter.
Mm-hmm.
Stan, when you just said I'm gonna shatter, I was like, what are you, made of porcelain? Like,
Porcelain's actually pretty strong. It's just thin, usually.
I have to make some kind of saving throw. Constitution.
Yep. Dex save.
Dex save. How does a 19 feel for you?
Yeah, that passes. They take. Each one of them has to make the save.
Oh, okay. That's another 19. And a 10.
Okay, so the 10 fails.
Okay.
But they still take half damage. Oh, those are nice rolls. Alright, so that'll be 23 points of damage total.
Okay.
So you see Enra pull out like this little round ball object and lob it over there. Kind of like flashbang style. It goes off.
Okay. Alright. Well, I need all of you to roll me initiative. Oh my god. Ooh. Alright. Bruno, what'd you get?
I got a 29.
Nice. Darts.
23.
Enra.
20.
You know something? As a group, we roll surprisingly well.
Yes. It's kind of scary.
I'm doing good today. Last week was horrible.
Alright, Zella.
yeah.
24.
Okay.
I'm kind of sad that one crossbow bolt didn't just hit him in the face.
Vera.
20 as well.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. We have 3 party members on initiative 20. Allerin got a 20 as well. All right.
Great.
Ismark got a 2. So he's very weary. This is the most he's traveled ever. All right, so first
I
up,
honestly think just Ismark is here and is just very confused on why he chose to travel with us.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Bruno, you're up.
Right. So before I go doing my thing, which is punching, I'll say this to them. I said, "Alright, so listen here. You and your 2 anchor biters and your real dull-looking ass are about to get pounded into the ground harder than you've ever known. Understand?"
No, not really, but okay.
I understood every word of that, and I love it.
He, like, on top of the fact that he was already, like, visibly shaken prior to this engagement, prior to, like, getting shot at with a crossbow bolt, and also, like, hit with a, like, this...
A grenade,
Yeah,
basically
a grenade. He seems to just wilt. Like, he hasn't, like, actually taken, like, an aggressive action towards the group or anything, but his 2 dogs are, like, fangs bared, ready to attack. But he seems to be kind of just, like, in that stunned moment of, like, what the hell just happened kind of thing.
He's gonna be stunned even more when I grow a size larger and activate Giant's Mind.
Alright.
And then I'm gonna do my... Oh, he hasn't attacked, has he?
Nope.
I get to use my bugbear feet. Okay. I'm gonna go right up to this man.
Okay.
I am charging. I don't care if dogs are gonna like try to get at me. I don't care. I'm going after them. And I'm going to punch this man 2 times.
Okay.
Yes, 2 times. Where is my... There it is. There's a 24 hit.
24 does hit.
Okay. And does a 20 hit?
It does.
Okay, well, that's 2 hits. Where is Le Damage? There it is. Okay. That is... Gotcha, okay. So if he doesn't have anything about magical Loney. Because that'd be unfun. That is 31.
31?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Alright. Yeah, he takes your blows and he kind of reels back and stands there. Just he seems unprepared for this encounter. Zella.
Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do chromatic orb. I'm gonna throw a chromatic orb at him, a third level.
Okay.
It is going to be thunder damage, because why not?
Okay.
That is a 17 to hit. Wait. No. Nope, that was not a 17. That was a 25 to hit.
Okay. All right.
Um, that's 19 damage.
Okay.
And she is going to not move any closer.
And you said you had cast invisibility on yourself too.
Yeah,
right?
that's off now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, just doing some math. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Darts.
I'm gonna rush up to this man.
Okay.
Move as close as I can get.
All right. You're gonna take one opportunity attack from the dog, then.
That is fine.
Yeah, one of the heads as you run past, one of the heads lashes out at you, but you kind of just weave past it. Yeah. All right.
And I pull out my Frostbrand scimitar.
Okay.
Now that it's attuned, you can see that it just like shimmers, and like I guess you see like bits of frosty, smoky kind of mist come off of it.
All right.
And I will make 2 attacks with my Frostbrand scimitar.
Okay.
Does a 24 hit?
Yes.
Okay. And does a 22 hit?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna roll all of the damage together. That will be 22 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to fire my hand crossbow at them as a bonus action. I do not get disadvantage because of my feet.
Yep.
Does a 23 hit?
Yes.
6 piercing damage.
Okay.
And that will end it, I believe.
Okay. All right. Next up is Enra, since you have the highest dex.
Alright, I'm gonna just take 2 shots.
Okay.
See what's all up. Dogs and the guy. Just shoot at the guy, really.
Okay.
Alright. 10 DPI. First one's a 16.
And that misses.
And second one is a 22.
That one hits.
for 12 points of damage.
Okay. Easy enough. Alright, Alarin is next, and he is going to cast Phantasmal Force, which he fails. Yeah, you see the man's attention change, and he begins looking around. He actually turns his back on both Darts and Bruno, as he kind of, there's something seems to have appeared right there that seems to draw his attention. But you can't see anything. It just, his attention seems drawn to an invisible object. Alright. And Alarin's just going to stay where he is. So, Vera, you're up.
Just gonna end to the dog on, yeah,
Okay.
the side. And Vera's gonna, with her warhammer, make 2 attacks.
Okay.
That's gonna be 19 and 18 to hit.
Those both hit.
Okay. And then I'm gonna use Divine Smite for both at first level.
Okay. Calculating damage.
It's gonna be 46 damage.
Right, you raise up your warhammer, and just, it is infused with this divine energy. You bring it down, and it just, the dog is just smoke plastered. Like, there's not even remains. As you literally...
Would I be able to use my reaction?
No.
No, the body is.
No.
It's dead. It's done.
Vera literally just did 3 times its HP total damage.
Okay.
Oh, so it's already buried, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
6 feet
punched
under.
it into the ground.
You guys are lucky there's still a bridge standing underneath it.
Jesus Christ, Vera. Don't take us down with you.
Alright. Okay.
Maybe you should do 1 attack at a time next time.
Alright. Anything else, Vera?
I think so. Just 1 second. Vera is going to, if I'm still not 100% how spell bonus actions work, but can I, like, I'm gonna Shield of Faith Darts.
Okay.
So
Plus 2 AC?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Burning through my spell slots.
Yep. That's fine.
So,
It's okay.
how does this man look after seeing that one of his dogs was completely?
Obliterated?
Yeah.
He,
Kind of distracted.
yeah, he's very distracted. He's like
Okay.
visibly shaken by the sheer force of your wills against his. Then basically getting pummeled repeatedly, and now there's this thing that he seems completely intent on destroying standing next to him.
He bit off more than he could chew.
He seems as though he has. All right. So the two-headed dog is going to make 2 bite attacks against Bruno, being they're the closest opponent. That's a 12, which misses, and a 7, which misses. These 2 large maws just come out snapping at you, Bruno, but you're just like, you kind of just bat it away.
Hey, it's just a wrinkle biter. Don't mind my voice going dramatic there for a second.
Okay, well, the man is going to make, he hefts his great axe and begins swinging it at thin air. Well, as far as you all can tell.
So
Did he hit the thin air?
He made contact as far as, like, he seems to, like, he grunts heavy as he swings the axe through, and you can see he almost has this look of exhilaration on his face as he seems to have made impact with his target.
A question.
Sure.
Would this trigger my reaction from Sentinel?
Making an attack to another creature within 5 feet.
Yeah.
You aren't within 5 feet, and as far as you can
man.
tell, that there isn't a creature there.
Okay.
You have to be within 5 feet of the creature that's being attacked, I believe. So.
No, I have to be within 5 feet of the creature making the attack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not quite there. Ismark is going to move up to the other dog and make his 2 attacks. Oh, that misses. That one hits. For 9 damage. You see Ismark bury his sword in the dog, but it's still standing as he slashes through. Alright, top of the round, Bruno.
What do I want to do? Gee willikers, I really don't know. Oh wait, I remember. I'ma punch him again.
Okay.
Punch him! Punch him!
I'ma do some rapid boxing style. Attack.
Alright.
Alright, first one. That is a 19. Does that hit?
Yes.
Okay. And that is a 20, so that hits as well.
Yep.
Plus 8s are nice. Okay, time for damage. Just copy that. Paste. That is 30.
30 damage.
30 damage total.
All right. Your fists make solid impact on this man's form. He seems visibly disturbed, as like he just seems to be taking a beating without putting anything back. But his focus is still on this target that seems to be invisible to the rest of you. All right. Anything else?
Let's see. I'll I'll wave well, after I punch him and notice that he's not really paying attention to me, I'll just kind of wave my hand in front of his face.
He gives you this side-eyed glance, and he's like, "I'll deal with you in a second."
Alright, whatever you say, lad. Just keep on taking me punches. I don't really care.
Alright, I need after you say this, he screams out in this bloodthirsty rage. I need Darts, Vera, Bruno, and Ismark to all make me wisdom saving throws.
Good thing that I'm a monk.
19.
Okay.
That there is a solid 18 there.
Alright.
12.
Bruno and Darts, it has no effect on you, but Vera, you feel this crippling fear wash over your body. Like something about this man, like he's covered in his own blood, not even the blood of your allies, but just something about this man. You're just like, I must get away. Then Ismark seems shaken as well. You are feared or frightened, which means you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of your fear is in line of sight, and you cannot willingly move closer to him.
Ability checks.
Yeah, you have double disadvantage now. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, that's not how it works.
Alright.
Okay.
With that, we're gonna go to Zella's turn.
Okie dokie. How far away is this man from me?
About 30 feet.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to step up about 10 feet.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Fear.
Okay.
He has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alright.
And so does the dog. Because the dog is a creature.
What's your DC?
16.
The man seems undeterred by your spell casting, but the dog, you see, like the dog before, like baring its fangs and its hackles were raised, and it was ready to attack, but now it seems to kind of cower back. Like,
Yep, it needs to move its entire entire dash action to move away.
on its turn.
Yep.
Yep.
Which can incur opportunity attacks.
I know.
And that'll be all for now.
Okay. All right. Darts.
Something I forgot to do was use my my Crimson Right. I would have done 3d6. Okay, so as a bonus action, I'm going to imbue the Frostbrand Scimitar with my blood. And I will roll the damage that I take.
Okay.
And then I'm going to... Can I scooch over to the wolf without invoking opportunity attack?
No.
Okay. So I will just do this then. I'm gonna make 2 attacks with my Frostbrand Scimitar.
Okay.
27 hits.
Yes.
24 hits.
Yep.
That is 66 plus 10, so that will be 29 points of varied damages.
That's fine.
Cold, radiant, and slashing.
Yeah.
7 of the damage. No, well, it would be 17 of damage.
No, it's fine.
Is slashing.
Yeah, it's fine.
And I will end my turn there.
Okay. All right. Enra, you're up. Lexley, you're muted.
Hey, that helps. The first one was a 12. The second one's a 21.
And the second one hits. What are you attacking the guy?
Yeah, I'm just shooting the guy.
Okay.
And that'll be 13. Wait. Yeah, 13 points of damage.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nope, I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Okay. All right. Alarin is going to. He is going to cast. Dissident Whispers. You see Alarin begin to like weave some magic, and he speaks a few like subtle, like almost imperceptibly heard words. And the man looks around to see where these words are coming from. Like you can see kind of he almost drops his axe to like grab his head, but he seems to just shake it off. And he's going to use his last legendary action for the round to... He goes, "Dog, get that one!" And he points at... He points at Ismark. As a 15, dog misses as it kind of like latches out at Ismark to attack. try to bite him. But Ismark just brings up his shield and bats it away. All right. Next up is Vera.
So, can Vera move to the other dog without getting closer?
Yeah.
Okay, to the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to make 2 attacks. It's a 24 and a 16.
Yeah, those both hit.
Okay. Be 29 points of damage.
Okay. Your first attack slams into one of the heads. You can hear the skull crack and break underneath the weight of your the impact. Then you swing right through and hit the other head. You can see that it just deforms the whole face, and the dog begins to collapse to the ground.
Yeah, I destroyed both dogs.
Okay, so can I use my reaction this time?
Yes, you can use your reaction this time.
Yeah. So I'm going to actually amplify it as well.
Okay.
So it can move half its speed, and it gets a +2 to its attack
Yeah.
roll.
It still misses.
No. Okay.
You all see the dog as it collapses to the ground. It kind of just haltingly reanimates and kind of moves towards its master and lashes out with a bite that it seems the jaw wasn't quite attached enough to make the actual impact from the attack. And then it collapses to the ground, unmoving. Alright. That's them off the board. Alright. With all that's been going on, the man just taking all these blows from everyone else, whatever was distracting him is no longer distracting him, and he whips with his great axe, and as he spins to swing at Bruno, you see his axe ignite in flame. He makes 2 attacks against Bruno. At disadvantage. That is a 15, which misses. And a 21, which hits.
Are any of his, are both of his dogs dead?
Yes.
Is there anything that is next to him that would be considered a target that is not an ally?
Not an ally to you.
Yeah, not an ally, not part of the party. Is there anybody in the party that... Okay, let me rephrase that question. Is there a target besides me and besides my party that is next to him?
No, there isn't.
Dang it. Okay, alright, that's fine.
That'll be... oh, sorry. 13 points of slashing damage and 4 points of fire damage as his axe impacts your side. All right. At the end of his turn, Vera and Ismark, you no longer feel the overwhelming, like, oppression and cause of your fear that was there before. So you're no longer frightened. Alright. Now it's Ismark's turn, and he is going to make his movement around in a flanking position with Bruno. He's going to take his 2 attacks. The 19 to hit, which hits, and a 14 to hit, which misses. He deals 5 slashing damage as his sword just rakes across the man's chest. Okay. That is the end of Ismark's turn. Bruno, you're up, and you now have advantage from the position that Ismark took.
Well then, I'm going to punch him 3 times.
Alright.
Watch out for the mix-up. Who knew I was gonna punch?
I had no idea.
See, neither did I. Okay, I know above 20's hit, so that hits.
Yeah.
Does an 18 hit?
It does.
Okay. And above 20's hit. Okay. Plus 8s are nice.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Let's just go ahead and do that. 40.
40?
40 points of damage total.
Your fists impact in this man's, like, torso, just pummeling him. He's almost like forcibly pushed backwards into Ismark, but still standing.
Well, this man is an impressive man, especially since he has legendary actions.
Yeah.
That concerned me when you said that.
Speaking of which, he is going to take a legendary action against you.
Dang it.
Oh, no.
That is a no. That is a 12 to hit, which misses. He just, as he's kind of stumbling backwards from your impacts, he swings his axe out trying to catch you with it, but you definitely move as he almost falls over from the forces of your punches. All right. If that's all for Bruno, it's Zella's turn.
Okie dokie. Well, I am going to 2nd level chromatic orb because damage.
All right.
23.
That hits.
Damage.
What type of damage is it?
It's going to be hold on, my thing is being stupid. This time it'll be acid. because I don't know.
As the man takes this swing with his axe, kind of unsteadily at Bruno, you see this orb impact, and it just splashes across his chest and in his face, and it starts to burn away the flesh, and you can see muscle and bone, and he just screams out in agony as his body starts to melt away under this acid, and he then collapses to his knees, falling face first on the bridge.
That looked like a hurt.
Just like a little clap and like kicks her leg back. Yay!
Can we cut off his head?
If you want.
I want to throw him at Strahd. I'll be like, look at what you did to my family. Now here, have
Okay,
this
hold
stupid
on.
head back.
Hold on, but you're gonna carry a decomposing head with you?
Nah, just no, I'm not. No. Hey Vera, there's the battle axe. It seemed cool.
Yeah. Vera looks up at Darts and is like excitedly nods, so I'm gonna investigate.
Is combat over?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use some of my sorcery points to gain back a couple spell slots.
Okay.
I'm going to again try and collect and create a blood potion.
Okay.
Stupid disadvantage. I rolled a natural 20 and a 4 for my investigation check.
Excellent.
So a total of 5.
Actually, instead of making the blood potion, because it fell into the water and Darts knows that they're not gonna be well, could I try and make the investigation on my own, trying to fish out this stupid battle axe?
Well, the axe didn't fall in the water. It's on the bridge. The man
Okay.
is laying face down on the road, like on the bridge. So, it looks like a battle axe, or it's a great axe. And you're not quite sure as to how to activate it. Like it would probably take someone with arcane knowledge to.
Hey, Zella,
Can
may
I-
I ask you to help us with magic item? Possibly?
Enra chuckles a
Regain your
little
strength.
bit.
Oh, hold on a sec, guys. Well, before we go into that, why don't we take a short break? Okay.
Okay.
A short break.
Yeah.
Short break.
Okay.
Okay.
Be back in like.
Okay.
Hello.
Angela, you might want to close the door all the way.
I cannot.
Okay.
No, because the cat.
Oh.
So it looks like I'm gonna have to leave early again.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Rude.
leave Lex in charge of darts for now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
What happens?
It's cool.
Bye.
Oh, somebody left.
Yep.
Well, Zella would, in fact, go over and assist with the Arcana.
Okay.
Or do the Arcana herself, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Vera is just so fascinated, like looking like a little kid on Christmas, looking at this axe.
But she would likely, like, suggest moving across the bridge into the other side first before we.
Yeah, to do the Arcana stuff, you would have to take a short rest, where your time would be spent. You'd have to take at least an hour or two.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to get off the bridge.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that group consensus? You're moving past the bridge and into the a little ways into the woods.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Sounds just fine to me.
Okay.
All right. So you guys travel across the bridge. And you go a little bit of a ways from the bridge, kind of to avoid the. There's a couple of corpses now laying rotting on the bridge.
Step right on them.
You guys move, about quarter to half mile away, and then find an area within the wooded part of it, to make a small little temporary camp. The whole time you're kind of doing this little travel, that you've noticed, even with low passive perceptions, most of you have noticed that Ismark seems downtrodden. Even when you guys were fighting, he seemed to be not his normal self. He just seems to be overbearing, something seems to be bearing down on him that you can't quite put your finger on yet. But yeah, you guys make a small little camp. Go ahead and make me an Arcana check, Zella. Alern will assist you if. You can do it at advantage.
Okay.
Enra's just gonna watch them do their work.
It's kind of sitting there super impatiently. Are you done yet?
A 24?
You get the sense of evocation, and the axe seems to bear a heat, not quite like the sword that you had connected with before, but it seems to bear a weaker flame, but it still seems to bear some kind of fire evocation enchantment. As far as you can tell, this axe, when swung, would deal additional fire damage.
Okay. So, after figuring that out, she would hand it back to Vera and be like, it's hot. it it likely does some sort of fire damage, but that's the most I can get for you.
Vera is very excited and says, "Okay."
So Vera, for all intents and purposes, this is a great axe. So it's the two-handed 1d12 great axe. So you would obviously lose your shield bonus to AC on bearing it. On an attack, it deals an extra 1d4 fire damage. And it is, for all intents and purposes, considered magical. So, obviously it's a custom magic item, but... Alright. Is anybody else doing anything during your short rest?
So I was gonna say, I like how Zella's not that smart but can figure this out, but then I remembered she had a 16 intelligence, so she's actually very smart.
Right?
No, I just take the short rest, not that it does anything for me.
I'll just do that as well.
Okay. I don't think anybody really took any damage, so...
I mean, I did.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Starts took a little bit, but
That was self-inflicted.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to spend hit dice, go ahead and spend them. But yeah. What do you guys want to do next?
What time is it? Like day?
It's early afternoon.
Maybe we should continue on our way for now.
Yeah, let's see what we can do to make time today.
Okay.
Gonna like kind of half-heartedly say okay.
In the great words of someone who can't walk backwards, forward!
Okay. After about 2 hours of travel, you come to a crossroads.
Roads.
One path leading north, one south, and one continuing along the way west. What do you guys want to do?
Well, what does each side like? Is there any difference between the two besides their directions?
Well, obviously the southern route would take you directly south along the Luna River. And you're not quite sure where that leads to. The northern route goes, like both the northern and the western route go deeper into the forest. And, obviously the western route is the route that would lead you towards Kresik. But it meanders kind of south and then kind of makes a big bend If you look at the map, you're at point P on the map. Alarin speaks up. He goes, "Well, we could take the northern route. From what the source I had spoken to said, there may be something of use there. It's a little bit extra time, but we may be able to use it."
On the map, that basically leads us to N. N's where we want to go.
S is where you want to go.
S.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, P is basically the bridge you guys just crossed that you had the encounter on.
Okay.
And then you're at that crossroads right after it. N was Velaki, where you just were. So yeah, obviously while you guys are discussing this, you guys have the map that Ismark has out, and you can kind of see that he has some stuff marked on it.
Alright, well, if we're to deal with whatever problem is in our group, we need to go to the north, and let's go to the north.
Okay. So you guys
Agreed.
All right. So you guys prepare after your short rest to then move, or after your decision at the crossroads, you move along the northern path, which turns shortly into a more of a dirt track than a proper road. After several more hours of travel, you come to a cold mountain lake, enclosed by misty woods and rocky bluffs. Thick fog creeps across the dark, still waters. The trail ends at a grass-covered causeway that stretches 100 yards across the lake to a flat, marshy island with a stone tower on it. The tower is old and decrepit, with collapsing scaffolds clinging to one side where a large gash has split the wall. Time-worn griffin statues, their wings and flanks covered with moss, perch atop the buttresses that support the walls. Parked near the base of the tower, within sight of the entrance, is a barrel-topped wagon splattered with mud. So yeah, you guys come to this tower. For all intents and purposes, it's an 80-foot tower that seems to have like 4 separate levels. You can see windows or arrow slits in the different levels. But yeah.
Is there a door?
Yes.
You're just gonna skip up to the door, and
Okay.
she's gonna knock.
Okay.
She's just gonna knock and see if anybody's home.
All right. As you approach the door, you feel so like your entire life you've had this connection to this divine energy, this source of magic that allows you to cast spells and imbue your attacks with additional like force. As you approach the tower itself, you feel this connection dissipate. Like you still know it's there, but it just suddenly feels like this weight is upon you that wasn't there before. And you don't feel as much of a connection to the divine source of magic that you had before.
I'm a little more disheartened now, but Vera still goes up to the door and knocks.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, I am going to do something real quick. Sorry. In session notes, there's going to be a picture that I want you all to look at. The tower door is made of iron with no visible handles or hinges. In the middle of the door is a large embossed symbol, a connected series of lines with 8 stick figures set around it. Carved into the lintel around the door is the word Kasan. But so I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as you knock on the door, Vera. What?
Is this targeting only me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay. It's gonna be 13. Yep. I'm ready for it.
That would be 27 lightning damage.
Okay.
As now the tower is enveloped in lightning. Like this almost like lightning trap that kind of affects the whole tower.
So, the markings on that door kind of look like like an Egyptian dance. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
The top one looks like a Japanese word. I forget what it means, but then the rest of them look like a dance. Yes, the rest they look very much like a dance.
Yeah.
Alright, does this make any sense to me, this door?
Go ahead and make me just a general intelligence check.
Okay.
Can I also?
Sure.
Yeah.
I would, but Bruno is average intelligence.
I got a 21.
I got a 19.
15?
A 15?
Yes.
Getting close enough to just inspect it without touching it, because you saw what happened to Vera. Zella and Enra, you can kind of, looking at the figures, they look like body positions.
That's exactly what I thought. And like a timeline, or like a like a dance. Like there's a start and an end.
That, as far as you can tell, that's what it looks like. It seems to you can't quite make out which is the starting point, but they seem to be a pattern that you have to
Alright.
follow.
Well, Enrol's try to do the arms up side, starting and then follow it through.
Okay, so you're gonna mimic each position, starting with the arms up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me a. I want to make it a check. I just don't know which one to do.
It would probably be performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a weird cough. I don't know what that was.
I don't know about this performance business.
Yeah, give me a performance check.
Alright.
Sorry about that. I don't normally cough like that.
That'll be an 8.
An 8?
Ooh.
I have a 0 performance.
Ooh.
Vera's gonna kind of catch on to what Enra's trying to do and
Okay.
like see what she's doing and kind of copy in the same kind of pattern.
Okay. Well, before all that,
Before all that,
yo.
Oof is what I was saying.
There's something else we have to deal with.
Maybe Zella should have done it with her +5 performance.
Hey, I didn't know everyone was going to start coughing performance. I thought we were going to go the Arcana route.
Bruno has a better performance.
Yeah, because Bruno has a charisma modifier.
He does.
Alright, give me 1 second.
no. 1 second is not allowed.
Well, 1 second might not be allowed, but a minute is.
Enra, as you begin to mimic the motions you see on the door, you get distracted for just a moment, and
Vera, what are you doing?
you mislay one of the
Oh.
you mislay one of the motions, and as you do this, about 10 feet away from you, you seem to shimmering into existence is a large blue dragon.
Wait, what?
Oh boy.
We gonna die tonight.
All right.
Okay, cool.
And what we're going
Nobody make a move.
to do is we're going to roll initiative.
Don't you say, oh no.
Don't, nobody hit the dragon. Everybody be cool.
What do you mean?
I
What do you mean?
I mean, everybody be cool. You gotta be cool.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, all
What do
I'm
you
gonna,
mean there's a blue dragon?
all I'm gonna say is that Aaron should not let me be in charge of darts. My dice are not fun today.
You said a large. Do you
It-
mean that in size or do you mean that in age?
it's just
It's one and the same.
It looks rather large. It did.
What do you mean?
It did appear out of. It did appear out of nowhere.
Like, it's real, right? Is it real?
As far as you can tell, it looks real enough.
So,
It's the most like vague and not an answer I've ever heard.
And we're all seeing it, right?
Yep.
It's not just me.
No, you're all seeing it.
Alright.
well, I only know of. There's only 3 ages of dragon that can polymorph, and all 3 of those ages would kill us. So,
Alarin, does your friend say anything about a dragon?
Didn't make any mention of this. Alright, so
please be an
Alarin.
illusion. Please be an illusion. Please be an illusion. Please be an illusion.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
I put the wrong button.
To be perfectly honest, Vera is not terribly surprised to see something vanish out of or appear out of thin air.
Okay, give me a second, guys.
Well, I hope you didn't like your character, because it's going to die now.
It's fine. That just make it even more annoying character.
It's either it's either a young blue dragon, an adult blue dragon, or an ancient blue dragon, all of which are deadly.
If it's a young blue dragon, we could definitely probably survive.
If it's a young blue dragon, we have the best chances, but it's no, it's still a young blue dragon.
Yeah, but I'm talking like action economy.
Well,
We
I mean, it
all
makes 3
take
attacks.
A lot of but we
And
all
it
make a
has a
lot of
breath.
attacks.
And if it refreshes the breath, we're dead.
I
I
am
mean,
back.
it could be dead just beyond principle, because I think
Yeah.
young blue dragon's breath is 10d10.
Oh, what? Okay. So your top Bruno, what'd you get?
Do I have to roll initiative?
Yes, please.
Fine. Whatever.
I will tell you there are 2 ways to complete this encounter. Just so
Neat.
Yeah. Let's not start nothing, because we're not here to start nothing.
Neat. I love blue dragons. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so does Brandon.
I love blue dragons at level 5. It's great. I got a 19.
And let's
19.
be honest, it wouldn't be the first time.
Okay.
I
Darts.
thought a wormling at level 5. Not a young, or an ancient, or an adult.
9 for darts.
9 for darts. Wow.
I rolled bad. Just wait till you hear what I got for me.
Wow. Enra.
22.
Okay.
22.
All right. Zella.
I got a 27.
Jesus.
Look at that.
Vera.
4.
Oh, excellent.
Oh,
Yeah.
Most excellent.
oh, you need the alert feat, hun.
I need to stop rolling crap. Is what I need.
All right. So first and foremost, as the dragon shimmers into existence, I need Enra, Vera, and Zella to make me a dexterity saving throw.
13.
Oh,
Uh,
my luck ran out.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna lucky feet.
Okay.
Good choice.
Very good choice.
I
See,
wish
if it
I
was
had that.
limited to just me, I would have gotten a 15. But it's not.
So I got a 10.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm hoping this is a young one. I'm hoping this is a young one.
Yeah. I'm.
Okay. So you all got less than 16?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You all take 44 points of lightning damage.
I'm sorry, what?
But you
Can
said
you
DC
repeat that?
16?
Yep.
Can you repeat that?
44 lightning damage.
Okay. Zella's unconscious on the ground.
Yeah, so is Vera. So is
Okay.
Vera.
What?
You
How?
see Enra still standing.
Because I just took 27 damage from the freaking door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That barely got me unconscious. But actually, hold on. Actually, I'm gonna do Strength of the Grave,
Okay.
and I am at 1 hit point.
Okay.
You
For
see
you, I'm
Enra
still
still standing. Her electrical field shuttered out, and there's just like these little, like static bits of electricity going across her armor,
Okay.
and kind of like this smoking.
All right. With that, Zella, you're up first.
Well,
Not illusion.
so
Not an illusion.
Zella is going to back away,
Okay.
and out of would she know anything about dragons? I don't know. She'd back away from the group, like to the side.
Like over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she'd cast invisibility on herself.
Okay.
Oh, it's a young blue dragon.
All right.
Why?
Zella is invisible. All right. That's all for Zella. Enra, your turn.
All right. Enra's just gonna go. Ah, it really hurt. And she'll talk to the dragon. We came here seeking aid, not looking for a fight. 2 of our party have been bitten by werewolves, and we were told we could seek help here. If you want us to go, we'll just go, but we're beseeching aid.
The dragon doesn't seem to have an intelligence to understand what you're saying.
What?
And as you can see, even as it casts the lightning breath, like it seems to almost shimmer, like not like almost like an illusion, but not quite, if that makes sense.
No, it really doesn't.
That
Like
makes no sense.
it's there, but it may not be real. Like it can cause physical harm, but it doesn't seem to be like an intelligent creature of any sort.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna cast Blur on myself then.
Okay.
And I'm gonna back up
Okay. Going towards Rosella when?
with full movement. Alright, can anyone... I don't know if this is real. Can someone maybe try dispelling it?
Could if I wasn't unconscious.
That was a fair point.
Alright. Anything else, Enra?
Bonus action, 5 temporary hit points.
Okay. Alright. Next up is Alrin, and he saw what you were attempting to do, Enra, and he is going to attempt it as well. Oh my god, that is the literal worst.
Did he fail the dance?
No, he definitely did not.
Oh.
Okay, so I rolled with advantage, rolled double eights, and he still got a 19, which you see Alrin walk up just in front of the door where we previously were, and he does the dance with grace and style that you weren't expecting from him. You've never seen him dance before. And as he completes the final motion, the dragon that had appeared shimmers out of existence.
Okay. Cool.
And the door,
Bruh.
you hear the door as it creaks open.
Alright. Ow. I go up to... Who's down, Vera?
Yeah.
Yep.
I will cast a level 1 Cure Wounds on you.
Okay.
And you'll get 8 hit points back.
All right.
Are we we're out of combat?
Yep, you guys are out of combat now. It's literally all it took.
Vera is gonna use her whole lay on hands pool.
Okay.
She's hurting,
All right.
Yeah?
and she's gonna heal herself.
I guess I can't be mad at you not healing me since you can't see me. But
Yeah. No one can see you to heal you.
yeah. Let's just say
Still have spell slots. So
let's
I
just
could,
say I trip on air and I could die.
Yeah, Enra's not too much better than you are.
Okay, Vera is gonna use a second level Cure Wounds on Enra.
Okay.
Because she can see Enra, and heal 2d8. What's a d8 again?
It's the diamond one.
I
the one
know.
with 8 sides.
I couldn't actually like see what any of the dice were. I just saw colors for a second there. I was like, what? Ugh. Okay. It's gonna be 16 health points.
Okay.
Zella is going to drop invisibility as she kind of just like exhales.
Okay.
She's just
Yeah,
she's-
and Enra will give her Cure Wounds too.
she looks a little bit bruised.
That'll be 11 points of healing as I hand you like this weird concoction. And just
She
drink it.
she doesn't care that you hand her a weird concoction. She's like, you know what? If it's alcohol, it'll make me feel better. If it's not alcohol, you know what? What can be worse?
inside the door, just beyond the door, you can see a 5 foot by 5 foot vestibule with a tattered curtain that conceals the area beyond.
All right.
Continue into the room
Okay.
and go past the curtain.
Okay.
Continuing to throw caution to the wind.
You think by now Vera would have learned her lesson, but
Oh, no.
alright. The flagstone floor is strewn with debris, and a few old crates stand near the east wall. A torn curtain to the south partially obscures the tower vestibule. A 5 foot square indentation in the center of the floor contains 4 pulleys attached to taut iron chains that stretch up through a similarly sized hole in the rotted wooden ceiling. Standing next to the chains are 4 tall clay statues.
I found some statues.
All right. So there's a
That
bunch
was
of
saying-
statues and there's pulleys.
Mm-hmm.
Stella's staying far away from anything that could hurt her at this point. She's
She's being gun shy.
she got traumatized by a door.
All right. I'd like to investigate the room for any clues. Or do I just notice any clues?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Investigate these statues specifically.
Okay.
I'm like,
All right. There we go. This is more my territory. That'll be a 26.
Okay.
it's gonna
Um,
be 22.
Okay.
Statues.
You Enra, you're rather inclined towards arcane objects. During your thorough investigation, and along with the aid of Vera, you come to realize that these statues are actually clay golems, and you see their hands are on the chains which are attached to the pulleys. It seems as though if one wanted to, you could command them to do something.
Okay. So there's golems attached to chains. And the chains just lead up into the ceiling?
You see that, like, the in between them, there's a 5 foot by 5 foot square that seems to be like it's an indentation in the ground. The chains seem to lead up through basically a shaft that leads to the very top of the tower.
So it's like an elevator.
If you knew what an elevator was.
Yes. But I'm like equating it to something
Yes.
nowadays.
It is very much similar to the way similar to an elevator shaft.
Alright. So there's chains coming out of the ground, leading up kind of like an elevator.
Mm-hmm. You see no other way up the tower besides this central shaft.
Alright, Vera, take a step back. And I'd like to not be standing in the middle of the room.
Okay.
So let's see. I command the golem to activate.
Okay. You see all 4 golems at the same time their hands kind of open around the chains. Not so much that the chain just goes slack and just goes super quick or anything. It doesn't just release it. But you can hear the sound of the chains moving through pulleys far above you, and you can see this platform begin to come down to the ground floor.
All right.
Claps a little bit excitedly.
After about 2 minutes, the elevator platform reaches the bottom of the tower right in front of you.
Cool. All right. Well, let's. Enra steps on. You guys coming?
He steps on very excitedly.
Zella,
Sorry.
Zella cautiously joins.
It seems to be like about 3 of you. It's a really tight fit for just the 3 of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
Uh,
I know when I can't fit in.
Vera, I might actually need Alarin, because he's the one that's supposed to know.
Okay. So Vera looked excited before because she kind of got, like, what I'm equating permission from mom, quote unquote. And now she kind of, like, dejectedly is like, okay, and kind of hops off and, like, kicks her feet on the ground a little bit and walks away.
Stop being over dramatic.
Don't break anything while we're away. All right,
It's kind
Alarin.
of says she won't.
And as you all, as the Alarin, Enra, and Vera are on the elevator, and and Zella, sorry, are all on the elevator, you all hear the of the door slamming closed. To
The front
tower.
door?
Yep.
Yep, that's to be expected.
And then, yes, that leaves Dart, Vera, the retainers, and Bruno all on the ground floor. Which floor are you guys looking to go to?
Wait, what?
There's 4 floors.
There's 4 floors.
Yeah, well, including the first floor. So there's 3 other floors that you can go to.
I don't know if I was a person in tower, what floor would I go to? Top floor?
Aaron's like, if there's somebody here, that might be where they are.
It would be the furthest from the door, so technically I guess the safest. So,
Alright. Top floor, columns.
The golems, you hear them rattle the chains as they lock their hands around them, and the creaking and grinding of these gears and chains as you see the golems move their hands over and under, pulling, and you feel this jolt as the whole platform shakes and begins to rise up. And we'll just go over the descriptions of each floor as you pass them. Dust. So you hit the second floor. Dust and cobwebs fill this otherwise empty room, the wooden floor of which is badly rotted and partially collapsed. After a little more time, the third floor. Time and the elements have all but destroyed this chamber, leaving a gash in the northwest wall and slimy black mildew on the walls. The wooden floor is completely rotted and has begun to fall away in places. And the platform continues up to the 4th floor, which you see. Unlike the levels below, This room shows signs of recent habitation. And although the place reeks of mold and mildew, it has plenty of creature comforts, including a cozy bed, a desk with matching chair, bright tapestries, and a large iron stove with plenty of wood to feed it. Light enters through arrow slits as well as through dirt-caked windows with broken shutters. Other features of the room include a standing suit of armor and a wooden chest. The old rafters bend under the weight of the tower roof, which has somehow remained intact. Mounted to the rafters are pulleys, which hang iron chains that support the tower's elevator platform.
All right.
Yeah, so you see a pretty immaculate room with a suit of armor that seems untainted by age or any kind of wear.
All right. And I will call out and say hello.
There's no response. You can see the entire room. There are no like doors or closets or any of that stuff here.
Let's see. I'll walk over to the desk. Are there
Okay.
any notes?
There seems to be recent activity at the desk, but anything that was like you could see that there's like there was possibly something pinned to the desk with like a daggers or some other kind of like letter opener or something. But that is currently missing. Like you can almost kind of see like the layer of dust that was there. It's kind of different from where this object was. Otherwise, you don't seem to find anything of real note on the desk.
Is the fireplace whateverness still warm?
No, it is cold. But if you can go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Yep. Oh, that's way worse. That'll be an 11.
You kind of you look into the fireplace. It just seems as though there's coals that were left behind from any whatever was previously burned in the fire in the stove.
All right, so it's recent use, but not super recent.
Yeah.
What time of day is it?
It was getting close to evening. It was evening when you guys reached the tower.
All right, you guys step off the elevator. I'll send the elevator back down.
Okay.
I mean, if nothing else, we hold up here for the night. See if they come back.
See if they attack us.
I mean, it's always possible, but
Okay. I would like Vera, Bruno, and Darts to give me perception checks.
Okay. Vera's is an 18.
I got an 18 as well.
Darts is gonna be a 22.
Okay. The three of you snap to attention as you're sitting in basically the atrium, the first floor of the tower, and you hear the door unlatch and creak open. What are you guys doing?
Just gonna try and see who came in.
Okay. As you walk over to the tapestry that you had previously walked through, I always forget about Ismark sometimes. As you walk towards the tapestry, it pushes aside, and a woman in somewhat brightly dressed garb, with a heavy overcoat made of leather, steps through. You also notice that one of her legs it looks artificial. It looks like basically a piece of log strapped to the bottom of her leg. She walks in, looks at the assembled 7 people in the base of the tower and goes, "Who the hell are you?" And that's where we're actually going to end today's session.
Dun dun dun.
What are you doing, Angela?
What?
You're making like these weird crackly noises.
That's the chair.
There's the chair.
Alright, thanks everyone for watching. We will catch you next week with more D&D.